I'd like to call the Drainage Board meeting August 11th, 2026 to order, and we'll go with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. Lord Jesus, we ask you to come this day, bless us, nourish our bodies and our minds to do the county's business in your name. We pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to approval of minutes. Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 28th meeting.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to claims. Just read them all off and then we'll okay them one at a time.
No, read them all off. Yeah, do them all. Except the one down there right away.
The Dewey, Simmons, Von Himmel, I don't know how you say it, guys.
Bornham or something.
Close enough.
$450. Crane Pond, the fund has $11,310.78. IMI Aggregates, $407.67. Black Creek, the fund has $21,936.24 in the fund. IM Aggregates for $446.43. Little Black Creek, fund has $21,936.24. Right of Way Management for $1,502.88. The Little Black Creek, the fund has $21,936.24. Right of Way Management for $4,140. Weasel Creek, the fund has $152,886.22. Tom's Excavating for $260 for Little Black Creek. The fund has $21,936.24. Amazon Capital Services for $83.68. Office supplies, the fund has $184.25. Tom's Excavating for $1,337. Psalms Ditch, the fund has $2,051.12. Extreme Excavating for $2,352. Little Black Creek, the fund has $21,936.24. Extreme Excavating for $2,500. Little Black Creek, fund has $21,936.24. Bragg Excavating for $4,600. You have to help me out on that, Dick. Zion Creek, the fund is $17,608.67. And Bragg Excavating for $300 for Luger Tile. The fund has $19,551.62.
Question, go ahead. The two for right-of-way management, were they extra besides what was in the contract?
The Little Black Creek was approved and Keaton was approved. The Weasel Creek was done out of...
Oh, it's out of county. Okay.
Yes, it was done in Wells County, I do believe.
Raymond, you asked me about one of these that was labeled wrong. Did it get fixed?
Yes, the last one, Luger Tile.
Okay.
Is Little Black Creek with all the IMI got it done now, or well done, or?
Extreme Excavating still has $3,121 due to them from the bid that they gave to start with. They're waiting to level the spoil to collect that.
What was that number?
3121 is what they still owed. After
what money on Black Creek?
Little Black Creek. After all the expenses, it's going to be $400 in the red until fall collection. Fall collection is going to bring in around $3,000, so it'll be $2,600 in the black at the end of the year.
All right.
it's gonna be close, because with the 3,000 still owed, it's gonna be right at zero by the end of the year. So there's not gonna be a whole lot of money to spend on a little Black Creek fund unless we spend next year's money.
Well, hopefully we got at least a Band-Aid on the problem.
Yeah, oh yeah,
More than a Band-Aid.
that's the first stretch upstream from 69, so we're starting on that stretch of the ditch to touch it that hasn't been touched for a while.
I was gonna say, it was dredged way back when.
Yeah, and then Jack Green and Brackles have kept the fund pretty well dry, working on two opposite ends, one on the bottom, one on the top end. And that was some of the spraying from right away was up on the top end on cattails up in it. So, okay.
Anything else? I need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the claims read off.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next claim is right-of-way management for $282.66. The Keaton Ditch. The fund has $12,878.47.
Move we pay this claim.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
One abstention, one abstained. Moving on to old business, the Long Branch solar update.
I've looked for the legal description for the tile portion, between looking for Crane Pond legal description. I found one yesterday that goes station to station. I have not determined the beginning point, ending point. Hopefully it's the correct one. But it's all flowing writing and very difficult to read. So,
This, both of them, the Long Branch and,
in the books I'm finding now, Long Branch, they're calling the extension the Ballinger, and I don't know if there's two tile at the end of the Long Branch, or if it's just the one with two names.
okay.
But the F's and the L's and the H's, they all look alike and blend together, yeah. Scott said he'd volunteer to help read, I want him to help read this. But that's, as far as an update on Long Branch, I'm still looking for that legal description to send to Arthur for the tile portion south of the railroad.
Moving on, the new business, the Elliott Tile easement discussion.
Yeah, so, one thing that's been brought up and another issue is easements that are updated when tile are moved. And so talking to Kyle, over the last couple of months, Kyle Persinger, there's been discussion about, when we move these tile ditches or put new tile ditches in, updating the easement so it's recorded. So when we're all gone and sitting in this room, the easement matches the tile. And the reason Elliott's on there is because that's one I was familiar with and involved with. And so I guess the question is for the board, does the board want to pursue that, when we put a new tile in, having the landowners sign off that, the way Kyle explained is we cannot, as a board, cannot move an easement from point A to point B on somebody's property without their permission. Because, when they bought that property or whatever, that was easement was there. So, I think you'd have to, and we need some guidance, I think, but we'd have to vacate the original one and move to the new tile after the new tile is installed. And then get it recorded. But you'd have to have the landowner's permission to sign off on it so that it is recorded up in the office.
Whose job is to get the landowner to sign off?
I would think it'd be whoever pursues it. I think it'd be one of the things where it'd be,
Probably not, be us, because it's our easement.
well, I think the way I envision it is for them to have money out of the account to put the tile in, they gotta have the paperwork signed off on.
And it wasn't any signed off on, what you're saying.
I think I don't know, yeah.
So paid down the fund, the maintenance.
The fund, like on this instance, the Elliott would pay for the fund. The Elliott fund would pay for the Elliott new legal description. You know, I always saw that one was put in like 2014, 15, 16 timeframe, so we're going back if we do that one. But, you know, from here on, you know, whether we're talking about the Lumbo, whether we're talking about whatever,
Yeah, Kyle can probably draw something up to make it simplify it.
yeah.
How do we do that?
Well, I think,
Does it have to,
We're gonna have to hire a surveyor to go out and survey it.
yeah. You know, who'd you mention last week?
Woodmansey,
Yeah.
Woodmansey from Gas City has shown interest in doing it.
And so the fund would, I think, I have it envisioned as the fund would pay for it. I think as a board, we need to vote on it, that we start pursuing that, that way.
Well, the old easement, if I had a tile breakdown in there, when I come to the board, if you're using the old easement, I can get the tile fixed.
Correct. But see, you know, now we're telling them, you know, we talked about taking the old tile out.
Do it over here.
Yeah. But if we take the old tile out and put a new one in,
I understand what you're saying.
so that's, I guess I just want to bring that to
Easement.
Too.
Yeah, because you have to move the easement because you're moving
Yeah,
the
you have to
tile.
move the easement.
Like you say, you gotta get the
It's
price.
a matter of who's gonna do it.
Like the Heimlich tile is not laying where the easement says the tile should
Yeah.
be.
Yes.
And, but, you know, like for instance, on the Elliott, you know, I assume the main thing would be solar panels out there. You know, I don't think the city's gonna make it out that far, but in our lifetime, but the main thing would be solar panels so that, cause now we just have the old easement. And like we ran into the Heimlich, where is it, who is it, and where's the new one in, when that group's all gone.
You move easement, you're moving closer to people's buildings or
Yes,
possibly home sites.
so I think
Are you retrospect going backwards after them, or are you just gonna go forward?
I would, you know, I'd probably do the Elliott. If we can get people.
Do we know of any others that were moved?
Lomax,
Yeah, we need to do it too.
Well, now, you know, I was voted on clear back in 2006 or 7 to do it.
well, we got the towers,
We're not gonna be around there forever.
the towers.
Not even you.
Moved.
Yeah, and so I think what we gotta do, just like that right there, when you come across one you think of, you gotta write it down or bring it up in a meeting. But I was using the Elliott as an example to get started and say, hey, I know that this is what I'm familiar with.
Well, that's the one,
Right.
first big one I know that we've done.
Yeah,
I mean,
In the Lomax.
yeah.
Slaughterback comes to mind on me.
What was?
Slaughterback out by the cemetery where the tile used to go across the property at an angle and you turned it and took it 90 degrees on the edge of the property, which would have brought it into that gentleman's yard that it wasn't in his yard before.
so I guess what,
But how hard is it gonna be to go back now? You've already moved it with the homeowner.
well, I think some of them are gonna be hard. Now that, you know, and then we may just have to eat it. I mean, it just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, we're involved in a couple that if the easement was moved, when the tile was moved, I think it would clean up a lot and
Future ones would be Lumbo and Eckelbarger Zirkel would be two big ones that,
but, you know, it's, you know, and so I think the landowner today has the right to say no if we've already moved it.
Right.
You know, because we moved it without that easement. So I think it's going to be I mean, but I think what we need today is a motion and a vote from the board to pursue the writing and if this is the direction the board wants to go.
I'll make a motion.
A second. It's the Elliott, I think people still here know where it moved.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody that would object because they're farmers and owners.
And invested in it.
Or somebody else buys a farm.
You know, yeah, and they're invested in it. And yes, I agree. So,
But Lomax, that's a different story because you got too many owners down there and they're not, how do they say, their water doesn't go anywhere. Just to be quite truthful.
if you kept Lomax's easement in what their plats show as a drainage easement, as long as it stayed in that drainage easement, I don't think they'd have much argument. Or I don't think they would have a footing for argument.
because that's a recorded easement.
Yeah, their plat already says it's an easement, so.
I got a first and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So what, we just,
We'll give it to lawyers and see what they gotta do. to
Yeah, see what he'll draft up the form to do it, and then
I'm not trying to be contrary, who's paying for this?
it'll come out
It'll
of the
come out
fund
of the ditch funds.
Comes out this one.
for each individual tile. Like, so like if we would go back for the Elliott,
Wouldn't he do the?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Woodmansey had said something when I talked to him about two different prices. One for an ongoing and another for individual prices. I don't know if clarification on that for sure would be,
You just gonna talk to him?
is it me or
Probably
you?
don't have enough to keep him retained ongoing, do we?
I don't know. It's a,
No, no.
I like the long, let's go back to Long Branch for a minute. You know, I think when you get that, find that legal description, somebody's got to draw it up
Yeah,
to say, hey, this is where it's at. You know, to protect interest and protect tile that are out there, instead of just saying, here's a legal description. So I think that's you and him, and you come back to the board, and
you want me to pursue
Yeah.
it?
I think it'd be good.
Yeah, right back to us.
how much, any idea what this is gonna cost? I mean, we ain't running
It's
along.
gotta be cheaper than hiring attorneys to fight.
You know, you got to go catch all the farmers,
Yeah,
landowners, or whatever.
So
it needs to be done.
It's gotta be done.
we'll ask Mary to work with Kyle and try to get something that, so we can vote on in the next meeting about how we're gonna do it, and,
If we're gonna go backwards or go forward.
yeah. Okay,
All right, moving on to Little Creek. Carl Kitts, maintenance request.
Little Black Creek.
Oh, Little Black, I'm sorry. Fund has $21,936.
No, that doesn't.
It's gonna be,
It
doesn't now. After
I'm reading what it says on the paper.
I know. We just
You gotta mind us all that.
before Carl gets started, you guys have two pictures stapled together that Carl is gonna talk about.
When Doug contacted me the other day and brought up about anything was needing done on anything that we had in the northeastern part of the county, and which we had just had, there had been work done on Little Black Creek, but there is two more log jams right south of the cemetery lane, which is 550 north. And Raymond, he knows about it because he's seen them when he was out there.
He's talking about page 2. The second page is what he's on.
And that was brought up, and I said, well, we got two more log jams there that would greatly help the water flow on Little Black Creek, which I know we don't have any funds now, but something to look for down the road if we can get that on the books or whatever. And also on that same page, the Harry Creviston County tile goes through that farm, goes into Little Black Creek. I talked to Doug about it's overgrown on the top of the tile going into the ditch, and there's a couple places more that I didn't fix this year that was blowed out on that 18-inch tile. I need a little help to fix it. My equipment, it's kind of all mangled up where people patched it. So that was another one was mentioned. And then back on the first page on Big Black Creek, I got a couple outlets from the last time they cleaned it out years ago, that just gradually kept blowing back into the field. And I got two outlets that are blowed out right off State Road 5 on that first part of the upstream on Little Black, or on Big Black Creek, excuse me, so.
So how much does this bring in a year in maintenance?
Let's talk about Big Black Creek, or Little Black
Let's
Creek.
go Little
first,
Black first, so we can clear it.
5,700.
57?
Yeah.
And there is some talk, Carl and I talked about it. There's about 4 or 5 others out there that are on it that called and said, hey, would you be willing to carry a petition to raise it? And so there is nobody's carried a petition yet, but there is some chatter or some talk in the background of it getting raised yet this year.
How much is it?
Raymond said it brings $5,700 a year.
$1 an acre.
I thought you said $1 an
Yeah,
acre.
$1 an acre. And so we talked about, amongst some private conversations, $10 an acre and $5 an acre. $10 an acre is not well received. But five has been discussed positively.
Yeah.
Well, if you go from 5,000 a year to 25,000, big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Done.
So on Little Black, told Carl, come in and get your name in the hat on the list to get it cleaned up and go from there. So,
And get a petition to carry it. So
Yeah,
Right.
you have to bring it back to us. So
Then you get it
we-
done sooner.
Yeah, quicker you get that done, they raise it. Yeah.
Yep.
he talked about Harry Creviston.
Well, let's go to Big Crap, Big
You want
Black
Big
Creek.
Black Creek? Yeah.
You want to make Big Black Creek.
Well,
That was
Big-
all- Big Black Creek, Big
Back to
Black.
Little Black, is
Right.
that where, is that where the Harry Creviston outlets, is where that brush pile is? Or is it downstream further?
Those two right south of Cemetery Lane where you guys went north on the last time, right there in that bend, there's one, and there's two within less than 50 yards of each other that are jamming up where that curve's there.
But where does the Harry Creviston?
It comes in south
Further
of that,
south.
on to the south of, on that creek.
Okay,
It actually, the blue line doesn't show where it actually goes into that field.
that dark horizontal line where it goes in?
It kind of, before that big snake band on down there, halfway across that field in that woods, that's somewhere in there is where it comes into.
Okay. I was just wondering if Harry Creviston money could clear out the brush pile, if the brush pile was on this pipe.
Basically, it's just trees that have overgrown on it, and I'm sure it's not helping on anything. And right past into the edge of the field, there's where it's blowed out, and like I said, it's been patched by several people, and I don't know how bad it actually is. I'm trying to get down there and fix it, so.
So what are you doing on Big Black Creek? That fund's got $175,757.64 in it on Big Black Creek.
It's got horse.
Again, when I was talking to Carl, I called him and said, I see you're on Big Black. If you'll come to the board, if you have anything that needs to be done on Big Black, come to the board and ask, because there's money sitting in there. So on your picture that has, just the one writing is where he's at on Big Black. And like he said, there's trees on there, there's washouts, and it just, there's money sitting in the account, and the account is shut off. It's been shut off since 2015. But, and
Big Black.
on this Big Black.
And how much is it of maintenance on it? What's an acre? $1 an acre?
Brings in 32,800 a year.
That's all it brings in. It's not much an acre then either.
$1 an acre. Bless you. But there's, the money's just sitting there, so told him to come to the board, so at least the board can, if they want to initiate it, so Raymond, or Carl can initiate it, the board could direct Raymond if they wanted to go out and look at it and, use some of the money that's sitting in there instead of just sitting in there, trees still grow. Is that fair? Yeah. Is that worded to you?
Once you use it, it'll start again.
Yeah. You gotta use, about 44,000, 45,000 for it to start.
Do you want me to look at this with, cutting the brush on the whole distance, or just doing these locations, or?
If he wants to come out and we can go, I can show him where it's at and whatever you feel we need to start with or whatever, so.
Okay, so I mean,
Cause you had another spot you was wanting to talk to me about, the county tile going off the east side of Black Creek. You had mentioned about coming out after I got my weed cut, so.
yes, they're behind Dale Turner, yes.
Nice thing about cutting all them trees off on one side is then you can spray it and keep it maintained and,
If you want to spend a chunk out to get the fund back going and versus doing a couple of spots, we do the whole stretch and put it out for bids and take quotes on it. Versus doing a little here and a little there.
Yeah.
Well, you got that money in
you're the first one here, so you get to choose.
I've been telling everybody I talked to up there, got something you want done on Big Black, let us know.
Well, I was under this, or I'd heard they was talking about doing between 1,000 and 300 north, which is,
Yes, which it's already been bid and it's
Yeah,
pre-decided to do.
which is part of what we farm along, so yeah, on that creek, and then it goes from 300 north clear to 5, we farm all the way along Black Creek, so. So that's whatever we need to do if we're gonna do it, or I was just bringing up about those two washouts on their blowouts on the outlet. Yes, the trees are there and
Just to bring it to the open, you know whether they're county tile or if they're private tile or?
the ones that, the two blown out ones are just private tile, but after the last time it just over time has washed out from after the last time it cleaned Black Creek out,
Do
so.
they come off of your property or do they come off of somebody else's?
They come off mine, my aunt's. One's on my aunt, which we own the field together, part of that field together, so.
Generally, the board, to be bearer of controversy, whatever, the board generally won't pay for private tile fixing, will pay for regulated tiles being fixed. We have worked on tile outlets before that came from other people and discharged on another person, instead of trying to get the far person to pay for an outlet that's not even on them, to keep the dirt out of the ditch. I go look at it and report back to you as far as what it looks like.
Good job. My opinion, I know it's hard to do, but private tiles, they should take care of it.
Yes.
And if they don't take care of it, we take care of it, we should bill them. I don't know if we can do that.
That's why I brought it up, because I know.
Well, I just, when he asked, I just, which was on the ditch, so I mentioned that, so, yeah. So,
The Harry Croson he brought up, that's on the first page, and Raymond brought it up. Whether, since there's no money in the Little Black Creek, whether the Harry Croson tile or fund can
Help pay for it.
help clean off the top of the tile, or you say you got some blowouts on it that need fixed.
well, it just, there's one right edge of the field.
And so, we want to look at that while you're out there too?
Yeah, I mean, we've used tile fund to open an open ditch up so the tile would have an outlet. I mean, so I don't, if you guys are okay with that, I'm fine with that. Cutting part of Little Black Creek and spending, Crowder spends money to do it for the outlet to be in good shape.
Yeah, I guess I could look at it while you're out there and we'll vote on it when you come back.
Come out and we'll go look at
I might
everything.
even take a lunch.
Uh,
You're like it's.
It might take a little bit, yes, so.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Okay, moving on to the Taylor Creek. Steve Dirks. The fund has $332,550.56.
You guys got a sheet for that too. Kenny, you got this sheet?
Yeah, Steve Dirk is, we're looking at doing some ditching on a Lumbo tile back here and just wanted to see if, have somebody check out the Taylor Creek to see if it's open and if it needs to be dredged or anything like that.
So we brought this up a couple meetings ago, that where the Lumbo drains into this wooded area right here on your sheet, cleaning that up with the Taylor Creek money, and then while the equipment's there, whether we can dredge any farther north and take any trees off going north to prevent log jams or to help them guys gain some depth on that Lumbo.
When we cleaned that, been 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, cleaned down to past Clauser's, the Phillies, past Billy's, Squeak done it, and almost to 9th Street. When you get to 9th Street, from 9th Street on, Max Faust had cattle running down through the creek and he lost a calf up there. And we went along with him and we quit there. What was out of money. In the meantime, I petitioned Swayze to raise the houses and all that. That whole ditch is a complicated deal, but it needs cleaned. I don't know whether you're gonna take one side or both sides. It's gonna take money to go from there, and then you get into, is it Howard County?
Miami.
Miami County, up there, before you get to
Pine Creek.
Big Creek comes in.
Pine Creek.
Pine Creek. Okay, but you're gonna have to get Howard County to participate with us
Miami.
in the last couple, 3 miles. But down around from 9th Street going to 18, there's a lot of trees down through there and needs to be bid. And somebody with a saw or something come or make up your mind whether you want to cut both sides, whether to take bids. See, you know, you only got a couple, 3 guys that's got saws.
So we're gonna have to send Raymond out there to check us out.
Raymond's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to take a lunch break.
Already busy.
Now, one other thing I want to ask Raymond. You know, they're Armstrong's Pit. They're at
Are you right north?
Klausers.
Okay.
The Klausers old lady stopped them from going around behind his corn cribs and coming back across the creek and going across 200 or did you? Now, they quit spraying that and it's screwed up. We've got to come back and clean that.
You're on Taylor Creek still? Are you north of 9th Street?
Creek.
Are you north of 9th Street?
South.
You're, oh,
It's south of
you're
9th.
south of Mile,
It's
right on the
south of
corner.
9th Street, it's 200. Armstrong's Pit's down there.
Right there on the southeast corner of that intersection.
Yep. Yep, that's what he's
You
talking
know what he's talking about, Raymond?
I didn't stop anybody from spraying that.
Well, I seen the right boy quit. Now, she come out there and it was a major deal.
Oh,
She got after Squeak, you know, because she walked that creek and had a bird up in a tree. And she did, Squeak took the tree out, then that set a world, okay?
Oh, it's.
The bird just moved over to another tree. But anyway, I would be, somebody stopped them from coming around behind Klausers Corn Creek. And then around Armstrong's Pit.
You just have to look at it when you go out there. I think the main thing is to run, the Billy's is clean still.
Billy's clean.
I think the main thing is to keep trying to get this thing opened up or see if it needs opened up for Lumbo. And then report back going north from Point North.
Well, they're wanting to come in with the 24-inch,
36.
36, and go into Taylor Creek.
Yeah.
And I'm not questioning they're gonna have to have
Is the board,
it cleaned on going north. It goes downhill, once you get past 9th Street going north, it goes downhill, look.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
that creek's not flat, it goes downhill, but the reason we quit was Max Faust. Well, he run those cattle down through that creek.
Go ahead, Raymond.
is the board in favor of spending Taylor Creek's money to clean that little tributary of Lumbo, or that goes up to Lumbo?
We can vote on it. I think we'll vote on it.
Yeah. If we're gonna spend money out of Taylor Creek on that little
Is
tree.
it causing a problem on Taylor?
Well, Taylor Creek goes clear to the,
There was a tree down there earlier this year that Mitch took out that had blown into the Taylor Creek from that thicket.
Taylor Creek goes clear to Mud Creek.
Yeah, we're talking about if they'll spend the fund out of Taylor Creek to do this little tributary.
Is the Lumbo a tile or is it an open ditch?
Tile. And the outlet's on the right-hand side of that thicket. There's an open channel in that thicket.
We can vote on it now, or we can, you go out there and come back and say, hey, here's,
What needs done.
yeah, what he's done, here's, and then this
I tell you what needs to,
this section here off of where the Lumbo drains into is gonna be this much, and, we vote on to vote them. I'd probably rather do that.
Yeah.
That way we know exactly what we're voting on.
Okay.
Well,
But that, with Steve coming in, that gets the process started, right? Initially, that was Steve's goal, just get the thing initiated.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the,
I got a question.
Oh, go
How
ahead.
much is maintenance on the Taylor Creek?
$10.
Taylor Creek is $5 an acre, $50 a home. It has 332,000 in it, and it shuts off at 261,000,
The houses in Swayze's like
$50.
50.
So it's almost 70,000 before it even kicks back on.
Well, seems like we should spend the money to get it kicked back on. you
Bring-
know,
bring-
if-
brings in
If we
six-
need to, not just waste of time, but,
Brings in $65,383 a year.
65.
So they're collecting 1 year.
Yeah. So really, you got to
Is it shut off?
Does that need,
You got to spend 300,000 to get more than, or
does that need to be lowered?
130,000 get 2 years.
What'd you say?
Does it need to be lowered?
Need to be what?
I think
Lower
once,
the rate if we're not, if it's gonna sit there, I don't wanna sit there with a couple $100,000 and not do something.
I agree, but I think, well, I guess what I want you to come back with is how far north we're gonna go to clean everything off.
plus how far you're gonna have to go on that lumbo, you know, make it right. If it's a tributary.
That's why I guess
Whether it is that thicket there.
and so I guess I don't wanna lower it until, we don't wanna talk about lowering it until we get the whole thing cleaned and dredged and sprayed and
Okay.
looking nice.
You got, what is it, 2 or 3
Want to
miles
back it up
north?
down there to Armstrong's Pit, get that while we're at it.
You're gonna look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving
I
on
have,
to,
I know what it is.
moving on to the
I
Potter
got
Creek,
water in that.
Potter Creek, Scott Rogers.
Okay, last September, we did an estimate for 4,500 feet of 18-inch tile to replace an 18-inch tile that runs, like I said, that's kind of a complicated name. I call it the Hiley Branch of Drip Creek. I don't know what it really is. Anyway, it was approved, and then we're ready to get started finally. And I called the other day, and the tile price had went up $3 a foot, which is about $10,000 for the project, a little bit over that. And I just didn't want to do something without you folks being aware of it. I didn't know if that was a deal breaker.
You said it's 4,500 feet.
Yeah.
There.
How much was the original?
When we approved that a year ago or whatever,
Right.
what was the problem? Did they want to ship the tile that day, that right away, or what?
No, nothing was, we never got that far as shipping.
Well, you was the one that was, why didn't you get a Fratco and say, hey, I got this job? And this is how much tile we're gonna need.
Okay.
When I get a chance to get to it, I'll get to it, but put me in there, lock me in as a bid,
You can't,
huh?
you've got to take delivery, you've got to pay for it and take delivery.
You gotta take delivery then?
Yes. And I just didn't see, I didn't think we would get to it till this summer. And,
It was dry when it was bid. It was dry when it was bid.
yeah,
So, just give a little history that, I just reading through the minutes. This was back in,
September, I think.
September 9th meeting to 2025, and you got the bid with $85,275.
Right.
Redmond and H&W Ditching bid on it too. There was 3 bids, so. And so Scott got the bid, at that time. And so it comes out to 13,000, you said $3 a foot?
Well, that was the other thing. It's $3 a foot, but we also mark up our tile before we sell it.
Right.
And so to make this taste a little bit better, I backed what I was going to make off. So it came out to about $3 a foot instead of more than that. I pulled 70 cents a foot off.
Yeah. So we're talking $13,500. Is that right? I just took 3 times 4,500.
Well, it's like $10 or $11,000 because I'm taking a little bit out of what I was going to make on it just to.
What Fratco tell you?
Huh?
What Fratco tell you?
What did they tell me?
They tell you they wouldn't.
That's common knowledge. They're not.
No, it's not. That's not common knowledge. You get with them and raise hell.
They won't move on the price, will they?
No. Well, and actually.
If you went that route.
Actually, this is an ADS bid.
Okay. So they won't move on the price then.
No. What's his name? Sweetser, telephone guy. Got that farm across Jim Woodmansey's. You put a tile underneath 13, right?
No, we went up to 13.
Went up to 13?
Yes.
You didn't go under?
No,
Did the state put one under?
not to my knowledge.
So what do you got to do now? Cut 13?
No. We're picking this up on the north side of 400 North. And that's still an 18-inch tile there. And so we were going to pick it up at that point.
It's an 18 going under the state highway?
Mm-hmm. Now, here's one other thing. I'm not sure. I guess you guys want this backfilled with stone, and I'm not really sure why. You guys are the customers, so whatever you say goes. But over 20 years ago, LICA invited contractors, county surveyors, and the pipe manufacturers to a meeting so we would discuss installation of big tile, large diameter tile. About half the county surveyors showed up, Grant County didn't. But at that time, with everyone there, we agreed that if we had contoured buckets on our machine and a contoured boot that fit the outside diameter of that tile, there would be no need for stone. Now, and so that's the way we proceeded for 20 years. And we've put in, I think I figured it up the other day, 50 miles of dual wall pipe, 15-inch or bigger. And on 18s, we've never backfilled with stone unless we're in a really deep cut. The purpose at that time was, to provide support underneath that tile. If you were laying it in a flat trench, to provide support for it. I guess what I'm getting at is it's kind of ironic that we're $10,000 over on what I said we would be, but we'd spend about $10,000 putting stone on it. I'm not really sure why we would. Unless you guys just want it, and I'm not trying to be difficult. If you want it, that's fine.
What was the 85,275? Was that with stone?
Yes, at the time it was, yes.
Doug, do you have the other competing bids?
Just in the minutes, Redmond was at $92,550 and H&W ditching was $88,875. Those are all with stone. Everybody in the minutes, everybody submitted a bid with and without stone.
Okay.
So his bid, Scott's bid was a difference of $9,000 with stone, 9,000 higher with stone.
Say that again.
Scott's bid with the stone added $9,000 to Scott's bid.
So it wasn't 85,200, it was 9,000 higher. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so let me read these minutes.
Okay.
After discussion regarding the need for stone, Gordon Golf made a motion to award the job to Scott Rogers with stone for $85,275. Motion is second by Kenny, motion passed 4-0. So the current bid is $85,275 with stone. If you take the stone out, it's $76,275.
They had those guys on those excavators, that dip on the wheel, when they put them big tile, right?
Some guys do, yes.
You guys never did?
We really never when we have put in with an excavator, we just backfill the stone. When we put in 24s with our machine right now, we put in with stone because our frame's not wide enough to get that contour bucket for the 24, but the 18, I mean, it's supported almost halfway underneath. And
We bid it for stone, that's what you gotta stay at it. I mean, you're saying because the price of tile went up, I've been in business for 40 years. If I'm doing a big job, if I gotta deliver that pipe to put it on the ground and reload it myself, that's what I do. I mean, you gotta allow for that. I laid a mile pipe at the cemetery on 26th Street. I
know.
I bought the pipe when I got it cheaper because I knew it was gonna go up, sat on the ground.
Kenny, what are you gonna say? What'd you say? What were you gonna say? Chuck was talking. What did you say?
Let him go.
I'm done.
I think
I'm
this
saying
go ahead.
that Scott puts a lot of tile in.
He does a good job.
Then crossing 38th Street over around the Herbst Road. I still think Fratco, if we want number 1 tile, we don't want number 2 or 3 or whatever. But we let the bid on that, and I say, talk to the head guy at Fratco, hell, they don't even have a salesman around anymore.
I know.
like they used to.
I know, and that's a sore spot for me.
Well, I understand. A lot of them. Fratco used to be big in this area.
Absolutely.
A lot of these ditches was Fratco. But then they got to use number 1 and number 2 tile. But I still think that if you talk to the head guy and tell him, say, hey, this is what my problem is. I know you raised the price. But
I can try.
they was telling me I was gonna have to take this. Maybe that was what it was supposed to do back then.
Yeah. I mean, we're putting these bids out or estimates out, and at any given time, we might have 4 or 5 of them. And it's just awfully hard to, now I could have maybe bought the tile ahead, came to you guys and asked for the money, but I've never did that before.
So
And if that's the way it's gotta be, that's the way it will be from now on.
Well,
But right now, it's never been a problem.
the game's changed.
I understand
that.
I think this is a touchy
I
subject.
tell you what, Springfield's coming in here, they got a salesman in here and so forth. Use that against them. I can't, we're not going to bill a farmer. If you got money in here, it's up to you guys. I'm not saying.
I can pull clear out of it, I don't care.
No, I want you to stay in there.
I'm not trying,
I want you to,
nothing against Scott, nothing against Fratco, but
I'm just saying that, yes, these are unprecedented times.
Yeah. I want you to stay in there and let me speak a minute. I think this is a touchy subject. This isn't just my personal opinion. You just like Scott says, you bid on these jobs and whether it's weather and you try to keep a job ahead of time. But I think to protect the board, when I found out about this last week, a couple things come to mind. to protect the board from opening this can of worms of contractors coming back and saying, hey, I need more money, or those trees were bigger, or whatever. I think it's one thing if it's different, if it's longer footage, or, I hit a 12-inch tile and I need some more plies, that's different. But I think, my personal opinion is we got a couple options. We got like 3 options. Call ADS, say, guys, can you split it? I mean, whatever. You're smart enough, man, you've been in business. Second option is, will the landowners help pay the difference? The ones that are benefiting from this personally.
Yeah.
Or should we rebid it, open it up for bids just to protect the board from, why didn't Redmond get a rebid on it, or why didn't H&W, why didn't them guys come back and say?
I thought Scott went under 13. You didn't go under 13.
I didn't even go underneath 400 north.
It goes over 400. There's a creek over there behind the Hiley Farm that runs down that road. That's where you're going into.
We came through that Woodmansey Woods.
Well, that used to be a wolf farm up there.
Okay. And we came through the Woodmansey Woods and came up in with a 24.
Now, Woodmansey was a different deal.
Okay, but you asked where I'm hooked on at, where I'm going to hook on. We came up through the Woodmansey Woods, came across the farm to the north there, and into that corner of 13 and 400 north. And we hooked on right there at the highway, on the west side of the highway.
And now you're gonna be on the east side of the highway now.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna be, like I say, even north of 400 north.
Morgan's is over. It's going through Morgan's, right?
It's going through Winger first, and then Morgan.
Yeah.
There isn't much on Winger, is there?
I don't know, if it's 1,000 feet maybe.
But do you see where I'm coming from?
So you're on both sides of 13 then?
When do you gotta have an answer?
I mean,
When are you gonna be there?
I would have been there by now if this hadn't come up.
No, I get it.
And like I say, if we have to change the way we're doing things, that's fine, but, this is just I know that people do jobs and come in here and they've already spent
Used to,
money.
they had a salesman around.
Yes.
I'll go along with you. I'm just saying. Had a salesman said, hey, I got this job, or I'm bidding on this, and then I got this job.
Yep.
It's not that away anymore.
Nope.
Or we're in a new ball game.
Scott, how do you wanna handle it?
Whatever works for you.
My opinion.
I'm not trying to be hard to get along with at all.
Oh, no, and, I agree. I think you gotta stay right in there. I think we ought to work it out one way or the other to protect you and protect the board and protect the future from.
But like I say,
But-
perhaps the board needs to think about, hey, when someone gets a bid, maybe
It's
they
not our
need,
job to think about.
maybe they
You
need
come to
to.
us with a bid.
Are you saying that maybe the board the contractor ought to be able to buy the tile and the board pay for it?
Yes.
I think that is a very smart idea.
And that's just a lot different than what you guys are used to hearing too,
It is, but like Kenny said, it's part of the time.
And
But you're gonna have a problem with that too, because now we put that in there about, you gotta have this work done within a year, we rebid it. You know what I mean? So if you buy the tile, and then somebody don't get it done in a year, you know what I'm saying?
The tile
Do
moves,
you wanna,
belongs to the
It
tile.
belongs to us.
what do you think the chances are of ADS
Because
working
we're
with it?
paying.
I don't know. I'll just have to find out.
So here's what I would prefer, if ADS and the landowners don't wanna help pay privately, I think we ought to rebid it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we can make that motion today. I think we can do one or two different things. We can make that motion today.
We didn't do anything. He needs to go talk to landowners and
come
ABM.
back, and then if
Well,
they don't wanna do
And
it,
if they don't wanna do it, they
It's
can
not
come
the
back.
landowner's place to plant. They pay tax into the drainage.
Right. What I'm saying is, if you
They
don't,
paid into this. It's between Scott And Fratco,
ADS, it's ADS.
whatever they call it.
Well, you got Fratco and you got ADS and you got Springfield.
Who's ADS?
Out of
They're out of Brazil, Indiana. They've also got a
They
plant,
own Fratco?
two different companies.
two different companies.
Two different companies.
Well, who do you buy them off of?
Right? It's kind of like John Deere and Case IH. Two different companies, but everybody makes a tractor.
And one of the reasons I went with ADS was two reasons. One, I'm not convinced that Fratco's quality is any better anymore than what ADS's is. Secondly, it's because the ADS salesman at least comes around once a month. I haven't bought Fratco for a
Where do they
year.
make ADS tile at?
Southern Indiana.
Brazil is one place and Findlay, Ohio is another. But we have bought Fratco for years and years and years.
I understand that.
And I haven't bought anything from them for a year, and I haven't even been contacted.
It's not supposed to work that way, is it?
Right.
You've been Fratco.
And so I guess what I'm saying is, I was trying to go where I knew I would get representation in a situation like this.
Whose tile was you using when you bid this? ADS?
ADS.
I don't know them.
Go back to ADS and ask them to help any. Call Raymond,
Okay,
and then we're going to try to work with you
okay,
as fast as we can.
That's fine.
But we're the government. We may not be that fast.
well,
It'll be at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's fine. But while we're here, could you tell me about the stone on this tile? What's the objective of putting stone when I've already got the bottom taken care of? To me, I just don't know that putting stone on the top is worth, I don't know if you're gonna get $10,000 of value out of that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, we done quoted it.
I'm not worried about this one. We'll do it with this one.
Right,
I'm
what
saying
I'm saying is, if we have to rebid it, then they can rebid it a different way, but that's just what the stone needs to be on it. I'm a contractor, I put stone on all cylinders.
Used to, we used 4L gravel, but it's practically impossible to get anymore.
Well, what I've always been, taught or preached at or whatever by tile we use, it's just support. It's just support. It supports it, shapes it all the way around. And I agree with you. I think you can find different contractors that believe differently and different companies that believe differently. And it's just, we're putting this tile in for 100 years.
Absolutely, I get that.
And so I think everybody's gonna be different. And that's one thing we've talked very little about on the board is, what is the standard?
I guess that's what I'm saying.
You want to know the standard?
Yeah.
And I think that's still more discussion to come.
And I don't think we're smart enough to do that. We need input from the tile company.
Just like on the Lumbo tile, we told Springfield that, you gotta come up with the recs on it.
What tile was you using out there on 38th Street? ADS or whatever it is?
Yes,
One Fratco. You don't use Fratco anymore.
I haven't for a year.
Let me ask the board this, if, to speed this process up, if Scott goes to ADS and they don't move,
We have to rebid it.
well, and that's what I'm asking. If Scott, let's say Scott calls ADS and ADS says tomorrow, we're not gonna move, can he call Raymond and say, Raymond, can you call these three that bid on it? So that next meeting, we can vote on it and move this process along.
Ask the 3 people that bid on it what?
If they will rebid the project,
Well, no, you'd have to send out to everybody.
you're gonna send out to everybody.
We're not trying to
Yeah.
do you out of business.
Yeah, and I'm not trying, I hope you understand, I've always tried to get along and do a good job for you guys. It's
Yep.
not that.
I got a question. I've seen the 24s put in with the machine, and it was, I saw it, and it came out like almost sand, you know what I mean? And it rolled right back in the tile, it didn't do anything. My opinion. So it makes a difference how the dirt comes out, I think, in my opinion. But I'm not an engineer, I don't know the stone deal was a lot of work. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but it all depends on how you put it in. If you put it into the excavator, you're gonna have big chunks. The machine,
Depending on the operator.
pardon?
Depending on the
Yeah,
operator.
yeah, so I don't know what, I'm confused.
Because
I'm confused to where we go.
Yeah,
So we're leaving with Scott, he's gonna call ADS, report back to you.
and then we'll go from there, as far as if we gotta rebid it.
That's fine.
I think.
Fellas, I'm sorry. I mean,
That's fine.
It happens.
Yeah,
but, you know, I'll learn on the next one.
yeah.
But, I'm just not used to these prices moving around like this, you know? And,
Let him know what's going on.
When you gotta have place to store,
yeah, that's a lot of,
you know, just like, where do you store that many feet of tile?
well, and at that point, you guys own it.
Uh-huh.
Are you gonna buy insurance on it? Because mine sat there for a year.
Somebody steal it.
Yeah.
Or if the contractor goes out of business, then we have to move it to another location. But
Yes.
We do have the highway department. We probably could store
Well, it's fair to say.
quantity of tile
Oh, yeah.
there.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank
Thanks
you.
a lot, guys.
Moving on to other business, the little newbie of Back Creek received quotes. The fund has $107,644.76. The first portion was awarded to the Canes for $22,743 on 4/28/26.
You wanna read these quotes off?
Yes, John's repair was $26,204.
Now, wait a second.
Which one's this one?
On this John's repair,
Says little newbie.
forget it. That's just different section. Okay, forget it.
Hang on 1 minute. Raymond, explain how you bid this off, because there's two.
There's one price north of 22 and the other price is for south of 22. State road. They're supposed to be added together to make a total.
So like on John's, it's that section
Yeah, the big one.
1 through 3, and then one's north and one's south.
Okay. That's why is that the way you read that, Raymond?
Yeah, that's the way I read it. I'm not sure what the section 1 through 3 and section 4 mean.
All right, go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, okay. It's the paragraphs in the letter. First 3 paragraphs are north of 22 and the fourth paragraph is south of 22.
We don't have the look.
Okay, moving on to Bailey's Landscaping and Excavating for $74,784. That bid was received 8/31/26. And then we have McCain Brothers for $48,137. That bid was took August 10th, 2026. This is Craig Newcomb.
Extreme excavation.
Okay, Extreme. Their bid was $44,100. Their bid was took August 3rd, 2026.
Boy, John's so much less.
Yeah, right.
My question on that would be expediency. How fast can you get there?
You don't know what the sections 1, 2, 3, and section 4 are on
I
it?
think it's the paragraphs in the letter.
Okay.
The first 3, you have a copy of the letter?
No.
Give it back to me when you're done, please.
Did you see Bailey?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay, okay.
I wondered why, how you broke it
That's
down
the
that
right
way.
way. How many days we lucky?
26.
Yeah, everybody's seen the same letter, right, Raymond?
Yes.
You know, we gotta repair the yards and
Yes.
you gotta repair the yards and take care of the trees and dispose of the trees, correct? Burn the trees, Raymond? And this is clear cut, everything's cut clean,
On the operating side and to the top of the opposite bank.
and then 50 feet wide to the,
Which one is this one?
Little movie there, Meridian and 22.
can you make it that, I guess my concern is, like you say, the timeliness of when John's repair can get there. Cause I'd like to see this thing get dredged this winter yet too. Let's see,
Yeah. And
where are we at here?
John's Repair has Hollis Daughtery over by Upland to do, and then a couple little jobs. Extreme, or that Craig Newcomb, they have Big Black Creek to do, and Leech Prong, the big prong of Barron Creek. And they also have Taylor Branch of Monroe. It's a short brushing job and dredging.
What's McLean got?
McCain's has got Little Newbie, the brushing part through the trailer court, and at the moment.
What'd you say?
We've asked for a possible quote from him for dredging through there.
I guess what I was getting at was, if we give it to John's and you call them and say, hey, the only way we're giving it to you is if you're there in 2 months.
We changed the quote on them.
That's right, because the letter said it had to be done within a year.
Yep. So you can't maybe do it.
And McCain's is within a year, so.
I think Mary added that in there.
And that's not what the letter is, so I don't know.
Is that what the letter said, Andrew?
August 11th, 2027.
Yep, August 11th, 2027. Says right here.
We could be there within a month.
Huh?
We could be there within a month pretty easily. I mean, we're right across the street now, so.
Oh, yeah, he's right across the street now. They're across the street now working on
I think we've
another part.
done probably close to half.
More, you've done more than half, from what I saw.
I mean,
I mean, you got through the trailer court after we had the windstorm, and the electric wires got knocked down on top of the trees, and you're trying to do it. Find the telephone lines that don't go nowhere, but they're still in trees.
Yeah.
He's there.
we make good
He got
progress.
drive across the road. But I just to be, well, McCain's is there. But what I'm trying to justify is how do you tell the taxpayer that you gave him almost twice, $20,000 more bid? But, my personal preference is McCain's is there and let him keep right on going, but it's hard to justify $20,000 more. That's what I'm struggling with.
Well, if we're able to dig the ditch, and with the funds that we have, we're removing 3.5 feet of dirt south of 22. It's going to relieve a mile worth of ditch where
That-
it has,
They dumping on the
We
bank.
aren't talking that yet, are we?
no, not the dredging yet, just the urgency to get it done is what I was per se. 3.5 foot of dirt in a ditch holds back water for a long ways.
Yeah, that's true, but have the money.
So there's gonna be about $85,000 in this fund after McCain gets done on the east side of Meridian Street.
Okay.
Makes sense? But you got some money, we spent some money at the beginning of the year, at Paramount.
Yep, around that.
Paramount, I talked to them, they don't see an urgent, the sewer project, he doubts it's done in 6 months for us to get in and do the brushing in Paramount, so he didn't see an urgency on that. And we went out and looked north of Paramount on Back Creek. There wasn't any obstruction other than trees growing on the banks, and they may slow it down when it's high water, but in a regular drain, it's not holding back anything. So I don't think there's an urgency of doing anything in Paramount at the moment.
What are you gonna do?
Need a motion.
Can we do anything but go with the low bid? Without a legitimate reason why?
Expediency would be the only one that I would, if they're not able to get there readily.
But they're both bid the same. It's gotta be done within a year.
Yeah.
It just so happens that McCain's is there doing a different project.
Yeah. Do I need to get another machine? Hire more help?
McCain's already there.
All you do is get in trouble,
Across the road.
We can't.
I move that we, award the project McCain Brothers for $48,137.50.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Gordon votes
Get it
aye.
done. They're there.
I agree in some senses, but we gotta figure,
Hey, all we can do is get in trouble.
that's
Well,
what,
no, you can't. I talked to the lawyer about that. He said it's up to us who we want to give that bid to. You don't necessarily have to give it to the low bid.
Well, but if a landowner would come in.
Well, yeah, right. But I'm just saying, we'll get chewed out.
Get sued again.
but it's possible that, we don't have to kick, if we've had a problem in the past with somebody not doing the job, we don't have to take the low. But I think the guy's done the job in the past, the right guy's there, he can get it done.
Yeah, I
Nope,
agree.
He can get it done, he says he can.
That's why I made the motion.
I'm on the fence.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Do we have a full letter or anything we need to sign?
So I didn't know what he.
We already signed it.
Oh, for McCain? You need to sign something for McCain? She didn't
do anything, so nothing to do with it.
They need a sale from behind them to back them up.
But you can't, like you said, you can't worry about tile. We can't get the tile. It's getting complicated.
Ain't no different than about we did. If it was before, it was $3,500
$1.30.
for a skid of it. When I got after back, it was still, now about had a heart attack. I called the
I don't get going because I moved my therapy. Can you run this?
Where we go?
Yeah, I know.
So then I
Can you buy me to Mary's office?
why it's cheaper and
Front desk?
Yeah.
She's in the
You
office.
gotta, so